Welcome, sports fans, everyone. Big Kev from Big Kev's World here with Matt Ogden, and we are going to dissect the NFL playoffs. I did a video the other day where I was ranting about the Titans, and then Prodigal Hill and Shelby came in and gave their views. But me and Matt Ogden have the um, same kind of heartbreak on Saturday, ain't that right, Matt?
Yeah, that's crazy too. We were both the number one seed. We got knocked from the playoffs, and we lost the same way basically. That was the crazy part to
We
me.
were talking off air. We were talking off air, and the one thing that was really eerie about this weekend's games is the 49er game ended with a field goal. The Bengals Titans game ended with a field goal. And it was just really eerie. And then last night that Buffalo Kansas City game ended with a field goal.
You mean the
Touchdown.
touchdown. The other one ended with the field goal too. The Bucks and Rams
Yeah, Bucks and Rams, right. So yeah, everything just seems to be it was like a domino effect over the weekend.
basically, and that's the ironic part is the only home team that won was the Chiefs. I
The
don't know. In a way,
Chiefs
it kind of seems like I'm not saying the NFL is rigged or nothing, but in a way, it kind of seems like odd that three away teams lose and one home team wins. Like, I mean, it's not it's not rare to see something like that happen.
it's a rare situation because you're in that everybody always strives to get that home field advantage, but I'm starting to wonder if home field advantage even matters.
I don't even think it matters anymore. It seems because I don't know. It just seems like you get the number one seed. Maybe in a way, it seems like if the team gets the number one seed, maybe because of that extra bye or whatever, they're not well rested. The other teams are more used to playing because they have to play all week. I don't know. It just seems kind of odd to me.
Now, speaking of the Bengals fans, now I know that Dashy and A Train are diehard Bengals fans. They've been there for the good and the bad and the ugly, so I respect that. But I got a bone to pick with you other Cincinnati Bengal fans out there, especially ones, man, especially fans of other teams who are now supporting Cincinnati because they haven't won in 30 something years.
Right.
And it's ridiculous. And from what I heard in downtown Nashville on Saturday, a lot of Cincinnati Bengals fans, a lot of Cincinnati Bengals fans have been doing. We're really rude. We're really mean to most of the Titans fan base, and they were not very friendly in defeat. In beating us, they were just barely like. They just seemed to be like, what I'm talking about. It's almost like Cincinnati. You know, it just seemed like Cincinnati is a too good to be true situation. I don't know if you agree with that or not, Ogden, but to me, I feel like Cincinnati is a
I
too
think they
good to
caught
be true.
fire. I think they caught fire at the right time. That's what I think. I just think that the Titans really had that game. It's just the fact that Tannehill basically with those if Tannehill that has a perfect game, I think the Titans win. But I mean, we're not going by what ifs. I mean, the Titans did lose, and it's the
Yep.
same with the Packers. If the Packers played better on offense, we would have blown the fucking 49ers out. But I mean, is what it is.
And some people were saying you gotta give credit to San Francisco's defense. Let me tell
Yeah,
you
they did.
something. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, they did have a good defense, but I think it's the fact that Packers offense is really off, and the fact that Aaron Rodgers is just throwing into Devontae Adams majority of the game instead of getting the other receivers involved. Last time I checked, it's not just like a 1-2 player team type of effort. It's like you got to throw to more receivers, and then the fact that we had multiple receivers open, other than Adams, and then you fucking blow that. It's like, come on.
Well, My thing about the Titans here is my problem with Ryan Tannehill is you went for Julio Jones. You went six receptions for 60 something yards. And then with A.J. Brown, he proved that he was better than Chase because I felt like he was a better receiver than Chase on Saturday.
Yeah.
He got 6 receptions for 154 yards and a touchdown. If you were throwing in that last play, why are you throwing it to a guy who was on your practice squad earlier in the year instead of throwing it to those two guys?
That's what I don't think.
And then on one drive, they get all the way to the end zone, and they were running the ball. They went for like 6 plays for 60 something yards, and instead of running the play, they decided to do this little cute little bounce pass to Chester Rodgers, which the Bengals guy ends up bouncing it, catches it, second interception for Ryan Tannehill. I think a lot of the problem is that Tannehill is a good quarterback. He's good during the regular season, but I think what we have seen is he can't get us past that. He can't get us past that cross line.
I think maybe it's best to Titans try to move on from him and find a new quarterback. I know we were talking about that scenario if you guys trade Ryan to Green Bay and you guys get Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I think that would definitely help your team. I mean, you would have that. I mean, of course, you'd have to give up a lot to get Rodgers, but I mean, I think it'd be worth the sacrifice because I mean, Rodgers. I don't think the Titans are a rebuilding team, and Rodgers doesn't want to be a part of a rebuilding team. So I think you put Aaron Rodgers in, you have Ryan Tannehill. I mean, now you have Derrick Henry, you have Julio Jones, you have A.J. Brown. You guys got a good defense. I think that would definitely give Titans the missing piece that they need.
Well, the rumors are that we've been talking about some Titan fans want Russell Wilson, some want Aaron Rodgers, or some are even trying to say Deshaun Watson. And I know for a fact Houston will not trade him here. That's not going to happen.
You're not going to give it to their division rival.
But would I be okay with Rodgers or Russell Wilson? Absolutely. Now, I'd be more okay with Russell Wilson only because he's younger.
Yeah, you got the younger version. You got a younger quarterback, so I mean that would definitely help you out.
We would have to. I'm looking at the cap situation. Even if we trade Tannehill, we would have 10 or 15 million in dead cap. So that's a cap strike against you. So you have to kind of think about it and say, well, do we go into the draft and draft a quarterback, which some people think Mark Willis would be a good little backup, teach him behind Tannehill and do one more year of Tannehill. But I felt like the Titans' window of going to the Super Bowl is now. It's their window, and you don't jump on it. And you got all this AFC teams. You got Joe Burrow's becoming an elite guy.
Josh
Allen's elite.
Patrick
Mahomes, yeah. So if you are not, and even Justin Herbert had a really good season with the Chargers. So
I think the Chargers are definitely going to be that bounce back team. I think the Chargers make a run for the playoffs next year. So I mean, AFC is going to be wide open. I think Kansas City, this is their Super Bowl to win because they have to make sure if they don't win this Super Bowl, AFC is going to be more loaded, and then they're going to be more strategized against the Chiefs. I think they're going to be well prepared for them. They'll know what they got to do to beat them. I think this is Kansas City's Super Bowl. They got to win it, or everything falls out of place for them. And then you'll see other teams from AFC start coming out of into the conference. I mean,
everybody can say what they want. The Titans broke a record or tied a record on Saturday for 9 sacks in a playoff game. So for you Cincinnati fans out there, and yes, I'm talking to you, Dashy. Yes, I'm talking to you, A-Train, and all you other little who-day bullshit. Let me explain something to you. If you plan on winning a Super Bowl, you need to fix that offensive line.
Yeah, I think it's going to Honestly, even if they do, let's say they do somehow win the AFC Championship game against Chiefs, I think if they run into like a team like, let's say the Rams beat the 49ers and ends up being a Rams Bengals Super Bowl, the Rams got a good defense. They're definitely going to really get to fucking Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean the Rams has got Von Miller. They got Aaron McDonald, who's a
I
beast.
mean, I never heard of a team that and I'm no disrespect for the Bengals because they are a good team. It's just the fact that their O-line definitely has to be improved next season. Because I never honestly, if they win a Super Bowl and their O-line's banged up, more power to them. But I just don't see it.
Well, man, when you let 9 sacks happen to your franchise quarterback who got hurt his first year playing with you guys, and this is your future, this is your franchise guy. You want to find every way to protect him, and if you can't protect him, and he's going to have a short career, and Cincinnati is not going to win a Super Bowl. I don't care how many points they put on the board.
Right. Yeah, I don't think Cincinnati really has to definitely build up that offensive line for Burrow, or he's not going to thrive in the league. I mean, he's doing his thing right now, but how long can he do that for if the offensive line stays like this?
But also, too, we talk about situations here in the NFC and stuff like that. Apparently, I don't know if you heard, but it hasn't been confirmed whether or not Brady's going to return to Tampa or not.
I know they're saying that I don't believe that rumor that they're saying he's going to retire. I just don't see Brady retiring after a loss like that. I think Brady would just go to a different team if anything.
I don't see Brady going. I don't see Brady retiring. I see Brady probably is tired of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know he doesn't get along with their coach very
I didn't
well.
hear that. I never heard that rumor now. So
Yeah, I mean, they've had a little heated discussions.
it'd be kind of crazy, but I mean, it'd be like a long shot. But then you guys would definitely have to rebuild after it. But it'd be kind of crazy if Brady says, "I want to go to Tennessee," because remember that was the rumor before when Brady was deciding where he wanted to go.
I think he wanted to come here, but I think the Titans
I think
decided.
that's definitely a possibility, though, because I mean, that would be good for Brady because I mean, he's got Mike Vrabel used to play with him when he was with the Patriots, and they got a lot of good players over there. So I mean, I think that would be definitely a good fit for Brady if he wanted to go to a different team. And Brady, I don't think Brady's not the type of quarterback that says, "Oh yeah, I want all this money." He'll take a pay cut so that way you guys could build around the team and give you guys the best opportunity to win.
Well, some of our team, in order for us to keep majority of the guys we want to keep, some of them are going to have to take pay cuts. And I know Derrick Henry has said that he would take one. I know that I believe Tannehill should take a fucking pay cut if he's going to stay on this team.
Definitely.
Who is Brady going to? He hasn't said yet. He just said that he hasn't made a decision on whether or not he wants to stay in Tampa or if he wants
Trying to see what teams could be a good destination for him. I know Titans, if they decide they want to move on from Tannehill, that would definitely be a good fit for him because it depends on if they keep all their players intact. But I mean, if Brady's willing to take a pay cut, I think the other players definitely got to take a pay cut if they want to keep the team all intact.
The Titans have an offensive line. They need to fix a little bit, tweak it a little bit. But I can see if he came to Tennessee, he would have Julio and AJ Brown to throw it to. But another team that I think that he could fit in very well is if the 49ers get rid of Garoppolo and he goes to San Francisco because he did grow up as a San Francisco fan. So it does kind of. I think another good team for him, and I'm not trying to say he should go and do what Peyton Manning did, but I think Denver could be a good team for him.
Yeah, Denver.
and I also think for if Brady was leaving Tampa, let's see who would be out there for him. Is where does it sound? Seattle. Like if Seattle gets rid of Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
Seattle would be another good spot for him. I know you Dallas. I know some Cowboy fans are like, hey, maybe if we get rid of Dax, he can come to Dallas. But he's a 49er fan. He ain't going to go to Dallas. Detroit would be a good one, too, for him.
If he would turn Detroit around and give them a Super Bowl, that would really boost up his more GOAT conversation, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yes, I mean, I just don't see. I think Brady is going to come back. I don't think he's going to retire. I just don't see him with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers anymore. I think he would go somewhere else. I know there's a lot of teams, though. Even if Brady's a lot older now, I know a lot of teams that would definitely take him over the quarterback they have on their team.
Well, I look at it like this. The one thing that I think you want to know who I'm actually rooting for in the Super Bowl? I'm rooting for the Rams, and I'm going to tell you why. Yeah. I think a guy like Matthew Stafford, who's been in Detroit for most of his career, deserves a chance to go to the Super Bowl and win it.
Yeah, it'd be definitely good for him. I mean, because God only, we don't know how many years he'll have left in him. And I mean, you don't know how many opportunities he's going to get either. But I think this is also the Rams Super Bowl to win too, because they have to definitely every piece they have in place for this team. They brought in Von Miller. They traded to get Odell Beckham. They got Matthew Stafford. I just think that Rams definitely got to win the Super Bowl, or the season's considered a failure for them.
Well, here's the thing too. Before the season started, Poston picked that it was going to be Cleveland and the Rams, but now he thinks that maybe the Cleveland got replaced by the Cincinnati, and now it could be a Bengals Rams Super Bowl. Which I know some fans are like, look, man, I know some fans are tired of seeing the same old teams in the Super Bowl. I mean, Kansas City's been there twice. 49ers went a year before, and then there was Tampa, and then they want to see different teams in. So if it did come down to Cincinnati versus the Rams, I don't think that Cincinnati is strong enough to beat the Rams.
Yeah, I don't think they are. I think the Rams would definitely win that Super Bowl then. Hell, even the fucking 49ers, I think the 49ers would probably win that Super Bowl too.
Yeah. Andrew just said he can't stand Jackson Mahomes, or as I like to call him, Patrick Mahomo.
Yeah.
To be honest with you though, that last drive before overtime, the Bills could play better defense than that, and I felt like they gave that game to Kansas City.
They definitely did. They're like, okay, we don't want it. I mean, like I said, who knows? I don't want to be considered a conspiracy theorist saying the NFL's rigged, but who knows? Maybe the fucking NFL rather have Kansas City win and the fucking Bills just let them win. Because I knew as soon as Kansas City tied the game, I knew the fucking Bills weren't going to win.
Andrew just said it. Andrew just said what I was thinking. If the Titans had a better QB, they'd be in the Super Bowl. Absolutely.
If they had Aaron Rodgers on the team, they would definitely be in the Super Bowl. If you put Aaron Rodgers on Tennessee, I think Tennessee's definitely got a good shot.
Well, I'll tell you this much. If, say, for example, the one thing I love about our GM, J. Rob, is he's gotten us into the playoffs. He's putting pieces around. He takes pieces that are impossible and puts on the team. So, and I think if they can try to get either Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson on that team with a guy like Derrick Henry and with the receivers they got, and a defense that the Titans got, I think you would see Aaron Rodgers also excel a lot more.
Yeah. I already know that. I think the way Aaron Rodgers is talking, I already know it's going to be the Jordan Love era next season with Green Bay. So, I mean, I think Green Bay is probably going to have to rebuild for the next 2 seasons. But then after that, it's depending on if Jordan Love is the guy. That will definitely have to be in rebuild mode for the next 2 to 3 seasons.
Poston said, wouldn't it be interesting if Brady went to Dallas and took Antonio Brown with him to media frenzy, and if he won the Super Bowl? Because Dallas is kind of the most hated team in the NFL, and Brady is kind of the most hated quarterback because he's the GOAT. So, that actually wouldn't be a bad fit. I mean, now what you could do is if you could find a way to get Brady with keeping Dax and put Dax as a bench player, that would work.
Does Dak want to sit on the bench and watch Brady be the starter? I don't think that would fly with Dak.
Right. So I mean, that's another
thing. That's why I don't think Brady would go to Dallas. If Dallas had like no quarterback at all, like not a good quarterback, I think they definitely would consider getting Brady.
But then again, those Steelers needs to get a quarterback now because you don't want to trust your season with Mason Rudolph. I mean, you don't want to do that.
Like I said, I'm kind of interested to see how the off season is gonna unfold for Green Bay, and I know you guys are definitely going to have an interesting offseason too. It's like going to be the question is if you stay with Ryan Tannehill or do you move on from him?
Well, a lot of Titan fans want our offensive coordinator Downing to go as well. I know a lot of people want his head on a silver platter. He wasn't Arthur Smith and he wasn't Matt LaFleur, but I say give the offensive coordinator another shot and put a new QB in there with the Titans. And if you do, but that's the thing, with all that money that Tannehill signed, if you release him, you're giving up $54 million. So you have to find a way to trade him. You need a trade partner. And the Titans will probably have to get rid of draft picks, which they have to, if they're going to want a quarterback, an elite quarterback to win now, they're going to have to get rid of trade. They're going to get rid of drafts picks.
Well, I mean, you got to put yourself in a position to win a Super Bowl. Sometimes you got to take that risk. I mean, like the Rams are doing when they traded to get Odell Beckham. I mean, they're in a win now situation now. They definitely got to go in and win the Super Bowl now, because if they don't, it's considered a failure. So I mean, that's definitely going to have to be the Titans' mindset if they want to win now.
Well, you know this coach very well, Ogden. You think Dallas should move on from McCarthy?
Yeah, I think they should, because I think his play calling is too vanilla, and I think all the teams have caught up to his play calling. So I think that would definitely be a good thing for them. They definitely got to get a new head coach.
I think that I think the Titans have a better shot. When someone asked me the other day, do I think they have a better shot getting Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers? I think they have a better shot with Rodgers. And because of Rodgers, I think only has like one or 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Tannehill can come to the Packers and be a backup to Jordan Love. And
I think that would be the better. I think that would be the better fit, and then he tutors Jordan Love to be a better quarterback too. So,
right. So I think that Rodgers coming here. I mean, who the hell? I'm like, if you're Russell Wilson, if I'm Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, I'm looking at that team in Tennessee and I'm looking at that defense. I'm looking at Julio Jones. I'm looking at AJ Brown. I'm looking at Derrick Henry, and I'm like,
All
damn.
right. And I know a lot of people saying Rodgers is going to go to the Steelers. I just don't see it there because they don't got an offensive line. And I think the Steelers is kind of like so much drama over there with all the players and shit. With Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster and all those players. I know Rodgers has said he likes Mike Tomlin as a head coach, but I don't think that implicates that he's going to go to Pittsburgh. But it's like you said, why would you want to go there when the Titans got a more stacked team? You want to go to the team that you feel is the best opportunity for you to win a Super Bowl.
Well, see, here's the thing with that, Andrew. Andrew says that no way Russell Wilson stays. But here's the problem with that. Russell Wilson wants out. And Seattle is going to be starting to do a little what you call rebuilding mode here soon. And so you have to think about that situation. And I know that Rodgers doesn't want to do that, but now Poston said something. Hey, the Titans should draft Malik Willis in the second round. If we decide to keep Tannehill for another season, then yes, I think we should draft a quarterback in the draft to be behind him.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what happens. I mean, if you guys get even if you don't get Rodgers, if you get a Russell Wilson, I mean, I would say look out for the AFC because I think that would definitely put you guys where you want to be. It's that quarterback spot position where you guys need in order to take the next step for you.
Right, and that's the thing with the Titan fans, and you know, I'm looking at the Packers situation right now, and they got a lot of players who are free agents this season, coming season. So the summer is going to be a little bit interesting in Green Bay, and we know how the front office of Green Bay acts. They act like they don't really want to keep anybody for some reason. I don't know.
Right. That's kind of why the Packers haven't. And as much as I love the Packers, I mean, that's kind of why we haven't really done much lately in our history with Super Bowls. It takes us a long ass time to get back there and win it. I mean, if we would be more aggressive in the off season, like in free agency, and I know we draft well, but if we would be more aggressive in free agency and get players, we wouldn't have the problems we were having. I mean, yeah, we have done that, but I mean, it seems like we don't want to keep these players, though.
Well, let me ask you, Ogden. This whole thing that happened with Aaron Rodgers in the front office of Green Bay, who do you side with on this?
With the off, what's the question you asked again?
Like, who do you side with on this? Do you side with Aaron Rodgers, or do you side with the Green Bay front office?
I think Aaron Rodgers has kind of been like a drama queen, though. I would honestly say I would side more with the front office than Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers seems like he wants to make it all about him. I mean, that's just me, though. I know other people will probably side with Rodgers, but I think we got to win as a team. It's like we can't just revolve our team around one player.
Well, the thing with Aaron Rodgers is he wants to be that elite quarterback, and this is me. And I'm a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I have no problem against Rodgers, but my thing to him is you do you get all these touchdowns, barely any interceptions. You throw for 4,000 yards a season, but you can never get your team past the promised land.
Yeah, it's like he did it one time, and that was it. After that one time, when he gets to the playoffs, he fucking chokes.
Yeah, and I think that you guys in Green Bay, y'all deserve to have somebody that's going to, put themselves on the line. I just feel like Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be there, and that's just how I'm looking at it. On how he talks on the train, how he talks, and he just acts like he doesn't want to be there.
I know, that's crazy. I mean, we don't know what Jordan Love Love is going to do with Green Bay. I know we're going to definitely have him as a starter. It's just a question of, can Jordan Love be that guy? If he's not, then we got to go back to the drawing board and try to find another quarterback. The Packers front office must have seen promise in him, because they wouldn't draft him with their first pick a couple years ago. So, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, this is what we have our next guy after Rodgers now. So, I mean, I don't think he's ever going to be an Aaron Rodgers type of quarterback. Like, I don't know if he's going to be an elite quarterback, but I mean, I think he could be a decent quarterback.
I don't know. The one thing I can say is I do agree with Aaron Rodgers to a degree a little bit because,
Yeah.
since I played the QB position, I can honestly say if you're a legend and we all know he's going to the Hall of Fame. That's not even a debate right there. But one thing I can honestly say is they were trading players like Jordy Nelson and people he was close to. You were getting rid of his weapons, and you weren't telling him anything, and you weren't saying, hey, who would you want us to go after in free agency? Get his input, because I guarantee you, New England did that with Brady.
Yeah, Brady definitely.
And Tampa did it for Brady too, because look what they did. They brought in Rob Gronkowski.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's the ending for Rodgers in Green Bay, and I wish him the best of luck, because I know Green Bay is definitely not. It's not going to be a one quarterback in process, and we're going to be back to the promised land, get to the playoffs again. I think this is going to take some time, and I think Rodgers. I wish him the best of luck wherever he goes. I mean, he does deserve to win another Super Bowl. So, I mean, we'll see.
Or you can do something that a fan, the Titans guy that I follow on Facebook said. The Titans need to get a 3-team trade deal. And the reason why I think this could work here, and what I'm about to say is trade Aaron Rodgers, or have the Seahawks, Packers, and Titans be a triple threat thing. All Green Bay gets out of that is draft picks.
I mean, that'd probably be the best thing.
And Seattle ends up getting Ryan Tannehill. And Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers goes to the Titans, and the other one can go either to Green Bay or Seattle.
Mm-hmm. And that leaves the question: who does that other player go?
Well, like I said, I think if you put Tannehill, you give Packers the trade pit, some trades. You give them Ryan Tannehill to be the backup of Jordan
Love.
Jordan Love, or you don't put the Packers in the you don't put the Trackers as and now what you could do is you could put Denver as a 4-way trade and have Tannehill go to Denver, or Russell or him go to Denver. One of them goes to the Titans, and the other team ends up getting draft picks.
I think Green Bay would be the team that gets the draft picks. Because, I mean, you got to look at it this way with Dallas. When Dallas did the trade back in the 90s they traded Herschel Walker to the Vikings, they got all those draft picks, and they ended up building the team that way. And sometimes that's the way you rebuild your team. Is you get a lot of draft picks, and then if you hit on all those draft picks, you got a solid team. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how this offseason goes for Green Bay. I know we're probably not going to do much in the regular season, but I definitely would love to see what Green Bay does.
Well, I have to kind of disagree with Andrew on this one. I know he thinks that Denver is a talented team that have suffered from poor quarterback play and coaching. Well, here's the thing: if you're Russell Wilson and you got a Super Bowl ring, you're Aaron Rodgers, you got a Super Bowl ring. Do you really want to go to Denver and hope and pray that you have a talented enough team to get to the Super Bowl, or would you rather go to a team that's already established and got the pieces there?
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of. That'd be like a head scratcher to me because they both want to win Super Bowls. They both only got one, and God only knows how much time both of those. I mean, Russell's definitely gonna have longer time left in the NFL than Rodgers, but I mean, they want to go to a team that's rebuilding and then have to wait a couple years in order to get to the promised land.
Or you could do this: have Texans be a party in this thing as well. Send Deshaun Watson to Denver. You send Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson to the Titans. Tannehill goes to either Seattle or Green Bay. You find all teams take a little bit of chunk out of Tannehill's contract, and then the Titans can offer draft picks. So that way, every team gets what they need in that situation.
Right. It would definitely be the best fit.
Or you could send Tannehill to Houston. I mean, I'm pretty sure Steven Rose would love that.
Right. It is going to definitely be interesting. That would definitely be a good, interesting scenario right there. Because then it seems like everybody wins in a way. Somehow they win something out of it. So.
Now, I honestly, I think the AFC is, everybody always said the NFC used to be more jam packed. The AFC is more packed now because now you have a really good quarterback in Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. You got Patrick Mahomes. You still got Deshaun Watson there. You still have who else? I got Josh Allen. So you got some real good young pieces. And I know Trevor Lawrence is probably going to be better too. Once he doesn't have to play under Urban Meyer, obviously. But
Yeah.
I think the sky's the limit on the AFC, and I think now if you're an AFC team, especially the Titans, if you're the Titans, you want to win now because now these teams are starting to come up in the woodwork.
Mhm.
You got all these teams now coming in. They're like, hey, look, we're here now, and there's no and Baltimore can get better again.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean Baltimore can get better again. Cleveland can start getting better again, which I know Mr. Moohead would probably love that. But
Yeah.
So if you're the Titans, and if I'm the general manager, if I'm John Robinson right now, I know that you signed Tannehill to a 4-year, big $100 million deal. I would either ask him, hey, would you take a pay cut and stay, and we get a backup quarterback that will compete against you, or we will trade you and get somebody else to pay half your contract.
Right.
I wouldn't release him. I know a lot of people are saying release him. I wouldn't release him because then you get a cap penalty at that point. So you don't want to do that.
You got to trade him. Trade him or keep him for a backup. Just draft a backup and keep him or trade him.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, if Titans would want to be in a win-now situation, though,
yeah,
I think they would definitely want to consider that getting the Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, though.
I do say that Russell Wilson's playing ability does fit Tennessee more than Aaron Rodgers to an extent of, Russell Wilson knows how to play action, but he also knows how to use his legs. Not to say Aaron Rodgers doesn't, but Russell Wilson's younger. So you want to have that piece there for a while. And with Aaron Rodgers, you don't know how long he's got left.
Yeah, that's true. He could have maybe a couple of years left in him, and then after that, he's gone, and then you guys got to go back to getting another quarterback then.
Wouldn't it be funny if Brady left Brady left Tampa and Aaron went to Tampa.
That would be funny.
Even though I don't think he would, but you know, do you think that Matt do you think Matt LaFleur is the right coach for you guys?
I think he is. I know a lot of people will say because Rodgers, carried the team and stuff, but you got to also consider though Rodgers. We have a good defense too, though. So, and yeah, I think it would definitely be. I think he's definitely going to not have another winning season for a while, but I still think he's the right fit for us as a coach.
I think he's Matt LaFleur. You know, like I said, he came out of nowhere with Tennessee, and then all of a sudden Green Bay snatched him up, and it's been a winning formula. I just don't
Yeah.
see why Aaron Rodgers doesn't get along with him, and
That's what I
because
don't
I'm all,
understand. It seems to me that Aaron Rodgers is kind of being like, I hate to say it too. It seems to me that Aaron Rodgers is kind of being like what LeBron is. LeBron's like, I want this player. I want this. It seems like that to me. Remember how LeBron would always go to like say to the teams, like basically like he wants to be the GM saying, oh yeah, I want us to get this guy. I want us to get that guy. I want us to get this head coach. That's what it seems like Rodgers being like to me.
yeah. I mean, he's what did Andrew say? It's going to be hard for Green Bay post Rodgers. I don't know if Lud if
I
Jake
don't. I think,
Jordan Love.
like I said, I think Love will pan out because I'm not like I said. It's going to be hard to find another quarterback like Rodgers. I don't think there'll ever be another quarterback like Rodgers for Green Bay, but I think he will be a good quarterback. A lot of that you could say the same thing about when Favre left, and then everybody was like, "Oh, Packers will never find another Brett Favre," and they end up finding Aaron Rodgers. So, and Aaron Rodgers turned out pretty good. So, we honestly don't know until we see it. So, until we see what Jordan Love's capable of, you got to give him
Another,
one year and see what it is. It's all about.
another team that could be good for Aaron Rodgers is Pittsburgh
That would be.
because Mike Tomlin's a good coach. They have a good defense. Pittsburgh would be really Pittsburgh would need that shot in the arm, which I think Aaron Rodgers definitely could really bring to the table if Pittsburgh wanted to go that route. But it's kind of weird, man. Now we're living in the world where Philip Rivers retired last year.
I did think about something else too, though, and it would be kind of crazy because I think if Aaron Rodgers I think Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams both want out of Green Bay. So I think the Titans would definitely have to. It'd be good for the Titans to give like a good package deal so they get both those guys, and then they could have their three-headed monster with receivers. They could have Adams, they could have Brown, and they could have Julio.
And I think, if I'm the Titans, I can give up two of my middle linebackers as long as you don't give up Cunningham and David Long. You can give up Javon Brown, and you can give up, um, Rashad Evans, and maybe some draft picks or something like that. Give them some defensive players, or you can
Right.
give them give them an offensive lineman that you're trying to get rid of.
And that could be a possibility too.
Now Taylor Lewan is if the Titans release him this offseason, that would be 12 million off the cap. Now, I know he just came back from his ACL surgery this year. He didn't get to play a lot. I still think to this day that I think he will resign, but I think what will happen with Taylor Lewan is he'll get released or they'll ask him, hey, can you take a pay cut?
Mm.
And I know that Taylor Lewan loves his team. He loves Nashville, and I can see him being like, all right, let's take a pay cut. I know Devontae Adams, I think this is his last year too, isn't it?
Yeah, he's done. I think he's done too. I'm just kind of interested though to see how it's going to all unfold. But I think, that would be a good fit for Tennessee too if they could get Rodgers and Devontae in like a package deal or something. I
You
think
know,
wherever Rodgers goes, I really think if, let's say, by any chance necessary, let's say that the Titans do end up with Rodgers, the question will be then is, would Adams be willing to take a pay cut so he'll reunite with Aaron Rodgers? I don't know if he would do that, but I think that would probably be a consideration for him. Maybe he'll be like, hey, Rodgers is going to the Titans. They got a stacked offense and they got a real good defense. Maybe I could get a ring there too.
or Tennessee can use some draft picks, use like a defensive player or two. And as weird as this sounds, trade Julio to Green Bay and send Julio and Tannehill to Green Bay with some draft picks and maybe a defensive player, and the Titans can bring in Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Now you have Devontae Adams and AJ Brown.
I think that would be even better fit for the Titans because I don't think they could. It would be kind of hard for them to keep all three receivers because of cap space issues. So I think you get rid of Julio, give him to Green Bay, and then you take Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. I think, and Devontae Adams is younger than Julio, so I think that would definitely be a real good fit for the Titans.
I think another quarterback that'll be on the market is Matt Ryan. I think he'll be on the market as well because I think
Atlanta. I can see Matt Ryan being like a Matthew Stafford type of quarterback, where he resurrects his career with another team. You know, if it all doesn't pan out for the Niners and they don't get a quarterback, if they decide to move on from Garoppolo and they figure they want Trey Lance to learn more, I think Ryan Tannehill would be a good fit with San Francisco.
I do too.
Because I mean, wasn't Kyle Shanahan? Remember, he used to be the offensive coordinator for the Falcons.
Yep.
So, I mean, that would be kind of like Matt Ryan reuniting with Shanahan. So, I mean, that would be interesting to see. I don't know, like I said, this NFL offseason is going to definitely be interesting. I think one thing about the NFL this year is we've seen like the unexpected. We haven't seen like, oh yeah, this team's obviously going to win because this team's better. We've seen a lot of upsets this year, and it's like we don't know who's going to go to the Super Bowl.
You know, and it was a lot of uncertainty this season, and we're seeing teams get put out in the playoffs that you didn't think would get put out, and we're seeing like the new era pretty much in the NFL right now. You're seeing it firsthand with Joe Burrow. You're seeing it with Justin Herbert. You're seeing it with Patrick Mahomes, and you're seeing it with Josh Allen. That game last night was pretty freaking epic. I know it wasn't one of our teams, but it was pretty epic last night. And the only thing is Buffalo's defense just didn't back up Josh Allen like they were supposed to.
It would be kind of crazy, though, if the Rams do go to the Super Bowl, though, since the Super Bowl is in their stadium. It'd be like the second straight year our teams went to the Super Bowl in their own stadium.
Yeah, and I know the halftime show is supposed to be Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and all them. So, yeah, this would probably definitely be – I think it would have been cool if the Raiders would have went because they could have worn their Raider gear and stuff like that. But yeah, this would be interesting. This would be interesting to see because I don't think – I mean, I know Andrew's a San Francisco fan, but even he's admitted that you got a really good stout defense in San Fran, but you can't trust Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that probably could kill them if they go to the Super Bowl is Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, honestly, if they go up against Kansas City, that's going to be – I think if I'm San Francisco, I'd want Cincinnati to win. And I'm no offense to the Cincinnati Bengals fans, but I think San Francisco has an easier matchup with them in the Super Bowl than they would with the Chiefs.
Well, if you follow the Titans' pattern against Cincinnati, Titans were able to run the ball against them, and the Titans were able to get the defensive hits on them. So San Fran's got a good defensive line, yeah.
I think San Francisco would definitely use the run game a lot more against Cincinnati.
And I think, too, San Fran's got that defense that can get after Joe Burrow. They can watch the Titans video again and watch, and you see, as long as you can put Joe Burrow on his ass. I mean, Joe Burrow still got 340 something yards against our defense. That's still impressive, but we held him to no touchdowns. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people can't say that about Joe Burrow, but that's what I'm saying too, Mogden. You know, like a lot of teams get hot around this time. When we went in there 2 years ago and we beat New England, we beat Baltimore, then we went in there to face Kansas City. Titans got hot at the right time.
Right.
If you get hot around that time,
I think that's going to be. I think honestly, that's how majority of sports is. Is like whatever team gets hot at the right time,
right?
Is that team. I mean, that's what I think. It's not about, oh yeah, this team's really good. They've been good all season. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. It's like when the playoffs come, it's a different atmosphere. And I think San Francisco is definitely that version of the Titans. They got hot at the right time. And same with Cincinnati too. They also got hot at the right time too.
Can you imagine if the NFL ran their playoff system like the NBA, like like the first 4 games win, you advance, the other you lose 3, you're gone.
That would be crazy. I don't think it would work though, because then it would cause injury problems and stuff. I think the NFL, football is more of a physical sport than would be basketball. Baseball's not even that. Baseball's not that physical either. So I think that's why they do what they do there, and it's also got a lot to do with money, making more money too. So
I don't know. I mean,
you look at the March Madness though. They have one team, one game. If you lose, you're out. So maybe that'd be interesting if the NBA and MLB would start just doing like one game and that's it.
I think honestly, to be honest with you, I think college football should follow college basketball's pattern.
Yeah, like have like a big bracket, like have like fucking like I don't know, maybe like 20 teams or something.
Yeah.
And then instead of having all these bowl games, they could just have one bowl game or something.
Yep.
And they could do that for the smaller colleges too. So that way it's kind of fair. Because you know how the smaller colleges awfully aren't going to get the love like the bigger colleges do. I think that would be good for the NCAA, though, in football.
I have to say, though, I have to respond to Dashy's comment because the last video I did, he said, and I quote, "The Cincinnati was better than Tennessee." And I'm going to tell you right now, Dashy, if we would play you guys tomorrow, I can guarantee you we would beat you, and we would beat you soundly.
Yeah, I think Titans really did. And it's honestly because of Tannehill, too, because Titans had the best they're real good opportunities. Like, as soon as the Titans got the ball back, I was like, oh, yeah, there's no way the Titans should lose this. And then you see Tannehill throw an interception, and like, oh, shit. Now they have to play defense, and they didn't play defense. So, I mean, this fact that Titans really just beat themselves more than Bengals beating them.
It was disheartening for me because, it's my 40th birthday next month. I was hoping. I was like,
maybe never wish for something on your birthday.
Don't wish for something on your birthday like that. I thought maybe they had it because, I mean, the reason why it really hurt because the adversity that the Titans have been under, 92 players because of all the injuries they've had to deal with all season long. And to basically go in, I realized something too. In 2008 and the game on Saturday, the Titans lost by 3 on all 3 games.
Yeah, crazy.
By a field goal.
Yeah. I do think, though, you were right about the whole. If the Titans want to take that next step and be a Super Bowl caliber team, they got to they got to move on from Tannehill. Because I don't think Tannehill's the guy that can lead them to the promised land.
Tannehill's a good ball player. He's a good guy. He's a good Samaritan. He does a lot of nice things here for the community, and I mean, but it's not what you've done in the past; is what you've done for me lately, and that's how the league is. And
Mhm.
Tannehill can get us to the playoffs. I got no doubt about that. Even if we go another year, I'm like, Tannehill can get us to the playoffs. But my question remains, and I saw it during last year. He didn't show up against the Ravens. And the year before that, he barely showed up in those playoff games, and it was Derrick Henry that saved our asses.
Yep.
So we need more from him. And that's where I feel like Tannehill can't do it.
I do like the parity though in the NFL because you're seeing a lot more parity with these quarterbacks and teams like you never seen come out of nowhere. I mean, you saw it last year with Cleveland going to the divisional round and facing Kansas City. Then now you see it this year with Cincinnati finally turning the corner and finally winning their first playoff game, and then ended up winning against you guys and go to the AFC Championship game. You've seen a lot of different teams step up now, where it's not the same old scenario where, oh yeah, this team's going to win. So, I mean, that's what I noticed.
Yeah, too. And what I meant by bandwagon fans earlier, and I know that we saw in the chat section on Facebook, Dashy was like, well, somebody needs to talk about those Tampa Bay Buccaneer bandwagon fans with Tom Brady. Look, there's a difference. If you don't have any team that you like, but you like a player, that's a different story. Following a player's career, that's a different story. But if you are a fan, and I know that Cincinnati has some fans, but you guys were nowhere to be found when Cincinnati was losing. They can barely get out of the first round. Then y'all finally win a big game against the Raiders that you barely beat. You barely beat the Raiders, and you certainly barely beat us. And I'm sitting there like, now you guys are all coming out there like who they? And I'm like, It's the same thing that happened here in Nashville when the Preds finally went to the Stanley Cup. None of these people were talking about the Predators. All of a sudden, they're like, hey, I'm a Preds fan now. I'm like, no, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. And it's just, and that's what's going on right now. People are jumping on bandwagons and like, oh, well, I'm going to go with Cincinnati now.
Right. That's the whole thing. It's like once you see one team good now, then you're like, oh yeah, I want to move up and be a fan of that team now.
I forgot to ask you. I forgot to ask you, Ogden. When you play Madden, do you always when you do franchise mode, do you try to rebuild the Packers, or what do you usually do?
Honestly, yeah. Sometimes I do that, and then sometimes I just go with the team I got. Yeah, but I heard a lot about Madden's going to do away with the whole franchise mode soon, maybe. Because I guess with the whole Ultimate Team and everything else, I guess they feel it's not needed anymore, which I think is kind of stupid.
Well, I think would be kind of cool is you take some of those old players from Madden, like in the Mutt League.
Yeah.
On your Madden team, you can actually put them on your regular team on the in the franchise mode.
It would be kind of an interesting proposal to the
because you could do that. Because you could do that on NBA 2K. Like you can actually do that. So
yeah.
I have to ask you one question, Ogden. Shelby was on here the other day, and he said LeBron James is better than Jordan.
No, that's obviously no. I don't think that. One thing's for sure that I know Jordan needed Pippen and Rodman to win, but I mean one thing's for sure Jordan never said, "Yeah, I want this guy, I want that guy on my team."
Nope.
Not like LeBron did. LeBron's got to be on a stacked roster, or he's not coming to a team. That's why he went back to Cleveland, because he knew Cleveland was going to give him an opportunity to win. And then they made trades to get Kevin Love, and they had already had Kyrie Irving.
I look at Michael Jordan in his rookie season. He led a Bulls team that didn't even make the playoffs. Led them, even though it was in the first round, he led that team into the playoffs. LeBron's first year with the Lakers, he couldn't even lead them to a playoffs.
Now they're struggling as a team with all those players. They got Russell Westbrook's basically benched. So, yeah, I think LA's definitely been – the Lakers are definitely overrated.
Lakers are definitely overrated, and
I think the reason why they won it that 1 year is because of Kobe. If Kobe didn't die, I think we would have seen a Lakers team struggle in the playoffs. We would have seen something because I think Kobe's passing definitely put the fire in the Lakers.
oh, absolutely.
Because I think that would have never made a difference if Kobe wouldn't have ever died. And it does kind of help, though, they didn't have any fans that year in the bubble league or whatever with playoffs. I mean, there was no stress or nothing, no atmosphere or anything. Yeah, they had the fake sounds, but I mean, it's not the same as a fan sound.
Well, the one thing I'll say to this though is I had a lot of emotions on Saturday, and
Oh yeah, I did. I definitely did too. I think we both have seen emotions from our teams. I think the one difference is I think you felt more heartbreak than I because you haven't seen your team win a Super Bowl. I mean, I've seen my team win a Super Bowl, but it's been so long. But I mean, you winning one Super Bowl kind of does ease the pain a bit. And it's like if you go back in time, if the Titans would have scored that touchdown, honestly, in that Super Bowl against the Rams, I think the Titans would have won it to overtime as much.
I think with me, if the Titans would have just gotten to the AFC Championship, and even if it was at home and they would have lost then, I think I would have been a little okay with it. It still would have hurt, but it would have been like, okay, I understand this now. But for the most part, though, I'm kind of one of those. Yeah, I was heartbroken. I was really upset, and I really said some pretty harsh things about some of the Titan players that day. And I've had 2 days to think about it. I still think Ryan Tannehill's at fault, and I still blame the offensive coordinator for calling some of those plays.
Right.
I do not blame the defense. The defense came to play. They had 9 sacks and an interception against Joe Burrow, so I do not blame them. I do think Derrick Henry might have came back too early.
Right.
He has shades of his old self, but he was.
So you think if the Titans would have rolled with a different running back, do you think?
I think they should have went with Foreman. Like Foreman was hot. Foreman had the fresh legs. He almost got 100 yards rushing in that game. So
yeah, dude, it's crazy.
So I understand why they wanted to go with Derrick Henry because he's your franchise guy, so obviously you want to go with him. But I would at least waited, got some more practice in, and see how he was before the AFC Championship. Then I would have been like, okay, let's see if we can play you.
Right.
But I wouldn't have gave him 20 carries. They gave him 20 carries. I wouldn't have done that. I would have split those carries between him and Foreman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now our teams go back to the draw. I think, honestly, looking at it now, with us losing Rodgers possibly, I think you guys, if you get the right quarterback with your team, I think you guys have a real good, better opportunity than us because we're probably not going to go to the playoffs anytime soon with the whole rebuild shit.
I'm actually going to try the Madden. I'm going to try the franchise mode with the Titans later. I'm going to have all the players they have now on the team, and I'm going to trade Tannehill, and I'm going to see what happens with Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And see what they do on there.
It would be interesting to see.
But, I think I can speak for you guys from the Packers and from the Packers standpoint. I look at it like this. Aaron Rodgers, if you don't want to be there, then get the fuck out.
Right.
I mean, seriously. I mean,
It's not like not gonna lie. Aaron Rodgers is an amazing player, but it's not like it's just like any job you go to. It's like people think that, oh yeah, I'm so great here. I'm the best cook or something. I'm the best dishwasher, whatever, in a restaurant, and they say, oh, I can never be replaced. And then they get replaced. It's like anybody can be replaceable. That's the whole thing. It's not like just because you're so good at something, it's not like you can't be replaced. Anybody can be replaced. That's my whole thing.
anybody can be replaced, and that's it. That's how it is in sports. Anybody can be. Now, there are certain players that come along, like a Michael Jordan or a Kobe or a Tom Brady, that you can't replace.
Yeah.
And there are certain guys out there that you just cannot. I mean, much as I don't like Peyton Manning,
Right.
look what happened to Denver after he left.
I think the same's kind of almost happened to Indianapolis too, because I mean, Luck was good, but look how long he lasted, though.
Now they have Carson Wentz, who's supposed to be their new savior. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be kind of crazy, though. I mean, I know I'm saying that the Packers probably won't have a chance to make the playoffs, but I mean, looking at their division, though, it's like they could have a possibility to win the division, maybe. Who knows? But I mean, they would definitely have to play. Jordan Love would have to be an outstanding player in order for us to do that. Because we can't let it all be the defense wins us games every time.
Well, Wentz is garbage. Yep, I agree. I mean, I think what happened to Carson Wentz, and this is something that I think happened to him, when he had that real good season and then he got hurt and then the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and won with Nick Foles, I think that shot his confidence. I think that really, 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 really did a number on Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
And why the Eagles didn't keep Nick Foles is beyond me.
Right. Now they got Jalen Hurts, and God only knows what he's going to do. We already saw what happened in that wild card against the Bucs. We already saw what happened there in the Bucs Eagles wild card game. They got blown the fuck out.
But it's always a good day when Dallas loses too.
Yeah. And they lost the stupidest way too. Like, why do you run up the field? Why you have Dak run up the middle and you have no timeouts to call? I would have just fucking thrown it.
Plus, I think that referee kind of fucked them up there at the end. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
way.
But sooner or later, though, we'll get an NFL panel going, and we'll talk about the Super Bowl. But what's your picks before we end this? What's your picks for this?
I think the Super
championships.
Honestly, I think the Rams are going to win. I think the Chiefs are going to win. We're going to have a Rams-Chiefs Super Bowl. And if I'd have to say, I think the Rams are going to win because they're due. The way they have everything set up, they're in a win-now situation. They have to win or the season's a failure, and they got to go back and do it all over again. So I think it's going to be the Rams and Chiefs, and I think the Rams will win in a close game. And the Rams will be the second team to win a Super Bowl and host the Super Bowl, playing in the Super Bowl in their own stadium. And I think Matthew Stafford finally gets that ring he deserves.
I think that it's going to be, I agree. I think it's going to be the Chiefs and the Rams. The reason why I say the Chiefs, I know you Bengals fans are going to be like, you just hating because they beat the Titans. No. Let me explain why. The Chiefs have been to 2 straight Super Bowls. They won one, they've lost one. Andy Reid and Kansas City's got more playoff experience, and you saw that against Buffalo. They got more playoff experience, which means that's why they were able to get away with a lot of stuff that they do.
Right.
And I just don't think that there's anybody. I just don't think Cincinnati's luck's going to run out. That's where I'm. That's what I'm saying. I think their luck's finally
It's
going to run
either
out.
it's either AFC Championship game or Super Bowl. And honestly, if they know their luck's going to run out, I mean, trust me, it'd be more painful to lose in the Super Bowl than it would the AFC Championship game. So,
Yeah,
like a pick your poison type of thing. Because I don't think you can only climb up the ladder so much, and the way the Bengals' offensive line is just atrocious. And eventually, they're going to run into a team there where they can't handle it.
and honestly, I think Cincinnati is how the Titans were 2 years ago. They got that big momentum. They come in there. They beat New England. They beat Baltimore. And you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Right.
Then they face Kansas City and Kansas City, and then they realize how tough it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what Cincinnati's going to say. We beat Kansas City in the regular season. Regular season don't mean shit.
Right.
But I think the Rams are definitely.
That's like saying Green Bay. That's like saying Green Bay. Oh, we beat San Francisco in the regular season, then we get to the playoffs. It don't mean nothing. Playoffs is a different story.
Now, I think that I would have picked San Fran if it wasn't for Jimmy Garoppolo. I actually think San Fran's got some really good pieces.
They definitely need a good
answer their defense. I just think Jimmy G is not the guy to kind of like the situation we're in with Tannehill. He's just not the guy.
Right.
So no disrespect there, Andrew. I know you're a 49er fan, but I'm just saying
Yep.
I would have picked San Fran if they had a better quarterback.
It's just kind of sad though that the NFL seasons another season goes by with the NFL. It's like season goes by so fast, and we're gonna have to wait a while for football season again. So for us, we'll have to be another 8 months now.
Yeah.
Now, so I mean. But I'll definitely be looking forward for the off season, and then hopefully everything goes well.
And good luck to people who are in the Stephen Rose Tournament of Champions. We can honestly say that if you win, be on Stephen's ass. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, because he's saying about the whole you're going to win $200. Okay, we'll see. You probably won't see that $200 for a while. I'm just saying. I thought winning it the first time, I thought, okay, maybe this is great. I'm going to get something really good out of it. And then it's like, okay, you just get $50. And it took a long time to get that. So I think he waited till the regular season to give me it too. That's the crazy part about it.
Right.
So I mean, it's not like, yeah, I did win back to back, and yeah, I'm very grateful for that. But it's not like that rule that hurts me that I lost in the tournament. It's like, okay, I won back to back, and even if I would have won, then I'd have to at least I don't have to worry about fucking bothering Steven every fucking day and saying, yeah, where's my money? Where's my prize? And it's going to take him a long time to give it to you. So at least I don't have to worry about that then. That's the one thing you got to worry about when you win his tournaments is the fact that you're going to have to wait a long time to get your prize.
Well, look at A-Train. A-Train won one and still never got that title belt.
That's what I'm saying. So,
I mean, and Steven asked me about coming back again this season, like next season, like when I want to do it. And I'm like, I don't know, because the way for me, honestly, is I like watching the games. I don't want to sit there and pick and then have to watch every game and be like, hey, does that guy win? Does that guy win? That guy win? Plus, if I want to do it, I want to do it on my own. I'd rather have my own league.
That's what we should just do. I should just say, fuck it. We could create our own league and we could compete against Steven and just have all these people join. And then I guess you and me would come up with some kind of prize for the winner.
Yeah.
That's what we should do, though. For next season, we should definitely plan on that. And then I'll just be like, fuck it. I'll just leave Steven's tournament, and then I'll just be a part of this. And then we could have our own thing. We could probably have a website like what Steven has and show all the past winners and records and shit.
Yep.
I'm
'Cause I
sure
know,
you're smart
you know,
enough. You did that. We did that before with the whole FWE thing. We could create a website and then have all the records on there and everything.
well, I can tell you this much. I know Mel's very good Mel's very good at math, so I know that we could easily be like, we can count who's got what record and who doesn't,
Right.
and
We could. I'm sure we could pull something off like that. I think we could do it.
but here's something else too. I wouldn't even participate. I would just be the guy that would run it behind the scenes. I would be like, hey, these are the picks, these are who's, and I think that we wouldn't have every person make the playoffs. And
That's what I would do. Yeah, you have everybody make the playoffs, and it's not interesting. Then it's like, okay, even if I have a losing record, I can make the playoffs. It's like, here's how we're gonna. Here's how I think we should do it. Is like, when the playoffs come, 14 people out of those. How many other people join? 14 other people. Only 14 can join, and then after that, it's like, if you don't have a good enough record to get in, you're out. Then basically, then your season's over.
I'll second, Matt, I got something to show you.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh, your dog.
there. Yeah, there she is.
I mean, yeah, that definitely would be interesting. Then my whole thing is, though, let's say like, well, I think we could still do it though. I mean, if like say you or me wins, I could give you like a prize, and then you could give me a prize. So I guess since we're like the founders, we could still win something out of it. So I mean, if you would win the tournament or I would win the tournament, I would give you like, let's say like for instance, I would give you like $100 or something, and then if I win, you give me $100 or something like that. It could be like that. But I think it'd be interesting. I think we could pull it off. We don't need Steven's tournament.
And you know more of the guys from the TTC than I do, so this would be an easier.
It's not even just TTC though. We could just go to anybody, like everybody on Facebook, and say, "Hey, do you want to join a tournament? You win a prize." All you gotta do is pick teams and hope they
You know
win.
what I wouldn't do? I wouldn't have a men's part and a women's part. I'll just put the women in there with them.
Yeah, just have everybody battle it out. It's not like, oh yeah,
Right?
women are gonna be in the women's division.
No, no, no. You need to have them all together at the same time.
I think we got to have a good amount of people. That's the thing. So I think we would definitely have to recruit starting once the off season starts. I think that's when we should start it. Like have everything set up to where we have people in, and then we can set all the divisions up and everything.
Well, once I get Madden 22, which I'm looking to get, I'm thinking about starting a kind of a Madden league.
Yeah.
And what I would like to do with that is put everybody in a position that can be on their team, and figure out what their person's stats are, which position they want to play, and I would make everybody fair rating. Everybody
Yep.
would be the same rating, and or we can all be coaches.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
mean, I know that Shelby and Fargo both have Madden 22 on the PlayStation. So, I mean, it's something we talked about. And I know Shelby's like, hey, Kev, WWE 2K22 is coming out. I'll help you with it. I'm like,
Right.
eh.
I know you said after the WrestleMania, that's the last one then.
Well, the one thing I wouldn't mind just doing some funny shit with it behind the scenes, like,
Yeah.
on my gaming part of it. But I would say, I still keep main guys and I still put us on the rosters, like on Raw and SmackDown or something.
Yeah.
But what's cool though is this one's got GM mode and it's also got a thing called stable mode, like your faction mode. And I don't know how that's going to work, but graphics look a lot better. The controls are different. Now, if you pre-order now, If anybody wants the game, you pre-order now. You get 3 different Undertakers.
Wow.
You get the Ministry Undertaker, the last Undertaker that we saw against AJ Styles, and we get the Phantom Mask with the black and purple. You get that. Now, if you want to go after the deluxe edition, you'll get the NWO. You'll get Hogan, Hall, Nash, X-Pac, and Eric Bischoff, which is like $109.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get that. I don't know. Would you consider getting that one, or would you just get the other one?
I would rather just wait and see when Hogan, Hall, and Nash becomes available in the PlayStation Store and just do it that way. That's just me. I'm a cheapskate on that.
Yeah.
But anyhow, though, the one thing I'll say for everybody on here is that we'll talk more about this little tournament thing, and we'll get that situation going, and maybe before the Super Bowl we'll get a panel together. Everybody can get their Super Bowl picks, and see what's going to happen with that. And
Yep.
I know Andrew wants to be a part of it. I know a few people that wants to do it, and I want to say get well to Duke Botters. I know he's got the COVID, so I want to tell him good. Hope he's doing all right, and there won't be no Monday Night Madness for him tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But Dashy, even though the hate week is over, torturing you is not over.
Oh yeah, that's definitely not over. That's never over.
That ain't over. Because I think the first order of business, I should book Dashy against Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I put Dashy on the Cincinnati Bengals, should I put him as a kicker or a punter?
Probably a kicker. Indeed. Have him just fucking go out there and fucking just blow every fucking game-winning field goal or something, or blow a fucking extra point.
Some guy rage quit on me earlier.
Yeah.
And once we're gonna start getting some stuff out of our storage. I can bring some of my masks back and maybe go on TikTok or Amigo and piss people off or something.
Oh yeah.
Remember that one guy that tried to pull a gun? He was like, motherfucker, I got you.
Yeah.
Don't.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho, I hope everybody is staying safe. And I know the Omicron, the Transformer virus hasn't gotten everybody yet. So,
Right.
got to knock on wood somewhere. But congratulations on your promotion. Being prep is a really good position to be in.
Oh yeah. Have to worry about too much. You come in the morning and then you leave later in the day. You don't have to stay there all night.
I know that's one thing that Mel loves to do when she cooks. She likes to prep before everything. And
yeah,
it's a really fun thing to do. And plus, Matt Ogden's got himself now. He's going to be the preparator.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, anything else you want to add to the video, Matt, or you think you've addressed?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think good luck to every team in the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game, and best of luck to everybody. And then, like I said, we'll talk more about the whole tournament thing we could possibly do, and then we could do our own tournament, and then we'll decide what prizes someone can get if they win the whole thing. So it's going to be pretty cool. I think it would definitely be more interesting than Steven's tournament. I could tell you that. You don't have to worry about picking an NBA game when it's a football tournament. So
you wouldn't have to worry about picking a college football tournament either.
Nope.
But anyways, that's Matt Ogden. I'm Big Kev from Big Kev's World. Thank you guys again. Like, share, sub. Tell us what you think. Who you think is going to win the AFC Championship? Who's going to win the NFC Championship? Who's your pick for the Super Bowl? Who you think is going to go? And we're out.
Yep.